We're gonna do some Texas rigs on some decoys today. So we got some avian wood ducks, and we got some here's some over here. We got the avian, and then we got the zinc mallards. And so what we're gonna do is, so this is what we're gonna need. We're gonna need some galvanized wire, it's basically clothesline wire. Okay, and I got 100 feet here, and then so it's galvanized wire with the plastic coating, so we don't rust out. And then we've got some 25-pound test, size number 1, stainless steel. I forget what they're called. They're you know, for fishing. They're for putting spoons on when you're salmon fishing, right? Okay, so then we got some sleeves for you know, fastening our stuff together. And then we've got some so I got these 6-ounce weights, mushroom weights, and I'm using 6 because if I want to rig these up to some geese decoys, they're heavy enough to hold the geese decoys. And then we're gonna need one of these little wiry things here, and we'll have all the links. I'll have the links for all this stuff below for you. You can order this stuff. This one's got a flashlight on. I couldn't find the ones without it, but that's kind of good if you're getting to the lake, you know, or the pond in the dark, and you can flick that little light on. You got a little extra light going there. Anyway, so this is what we want to end up with. Okay, so basically we got our weight at the end. We've got our line. It's about 6 feet. Okay, and then we've got our what I don't know what you call these things again. I used to know what they were called, but barrel swivels, right? Okay, barrel swivel with your hook, and then we just got a loop at the end, and that's just basically, you can pick them all up, and we're gonna put them on a carabiner, and then and we'll have them all nice and neat. And then so the way I got this done is you want to just make them all the same length. That way they'll be nice and neat when they're hanging in the carabiner. Okay. So I marked off 6 feet on this on my table here. So I just take my line, okay, I run it over here, and I'm going to cut this at the 6 foot mark right there. I'm going to cut that with some wire cutters, and I got my dogs out here in the garage. And then first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my loop on. So what I did is I made one, and then I traced the loop out on the table so I can make them all the same size. So basically this is the one end. So we're gonna fish that through the crimp ring and bring it back around, stick it through here. Okay, and you wanna and then just so you wanna have the tag end flush, and just pull this down so it's about the same. You know, about the same, like right there. And you don't want this sticking out because it'll catch on stuff when you're trying to pick things up, or it could catch on the barrel swivel. So you just want to make sure that's flush, and then you bring it over to if you got an anvil or a vise, just bring it over to the vise and just bang with a couple of hammers on one side, flip it over, do a couple on the other. Make sure you get both sides of it. Okay, and that side's done. Okay, next thing you want to do, don't forget, is you want to slide the barrel swivel on with the hook part at the bottom, and that's going to be what you hook to your decoys, right? And then you put the other end through the weight, and we're just going to do the same thing on here. We're just going to make sure, we're looking at this weight, we want to make sure we got about the same length. Okay, oops, sorry. First you're going to put it through the crimp ring, then through the weight, and then back through the other side. And these and same thing, you want to have that tag end right there flush or inside, and then you want to have that about the same size. So just kind of pull it around the same size, and that's just so they're all the same length. Okay, and then you take that over to the anvil, and you give that a couple of bangs there. Okay. Okay, you flip it over, give it a couple on the other side there, should be fine. All right, so there's what you got. You got your you get your weight, you get your swivel. This is where you'll go onto your carabiner. And then basically what you'll do when you get, if you want to have them all ready before you go, and if you're going duck hunting, for example, you take your decoy and of course you're going to put some in the front, on the front hole up here, and you're going to put some in the back so they're not all facing the same way when they're in the pond. And you're going to open that up, and because they're all the same length, right? So you say we put that one on the front, and I usually duck hunt by myself quite often, so I have a pond on my property, but it's dried up. We had a really dry summer, and it's a little tricky to get your hand in there and get that clamped on, but once you got it on, then it's on. All right, so that one's on the front. So basically when you've got these on the carabiner, they're all going to be hanging down like this, right? The weight's going to be right there, and you can, if you want to give them a little spin and throw them, they're gonna fly out. Okay, then this weight's gonna fall down like this. Okay, it's gonna go to the bottom, and then it's going to and then your decoy will just float like that. That thing will be sticking up, but ducks don't know what that is. So yeah, and then when you're ready to go, you're just of course going to pick them up, and everything falls down. So you may get a little catchy on there, but when they're in the water, they'll be a little slippier, and you can get that down like that. Or you could also just like spin it up, give that a little thing, and throw your weight out. It'll land and pull the duck down. Okay, so when you're done, what you want to do is have all your decoys, and you're picking them all up from the water. You're going to pick them up, and you'll have them all hanging down here. They're all going to be exactly the same length, right? And then what you'll do is you just grab your finger, pull this down, okay? So it's all the lines are together, and you'll just take your wrap. You'll wrap it around all the lines like this, give it a little twist, and then all your stuff will be neat. You can throw it over your shoulder like this, and and walk back to the shore with it, and then put them in your whatever you got to bring them in, and then take them back to your truck, right? And that's about it. Like that's the way to go. Anyway, I left mine out last year in the and winter came, and when it comes spring, they were all gone. So I'm not sure. I mean, it was on my property, so I don't know if either somebody came to my property and stole them, or the wind took them, or something. But the water level dropped, and there was not one decoy there. So I don't know what happened to them. But anyway, so yeah, that's it. I'll put the links below for all this stuff, and we'll see you on the pond.